English talking practice. Alex often dreamed of fluent conversations, but reality felt miles away. A shy individual, speaking English publicly always seemed like an insurmountable mountain. The fear of making mistakes paralyzed him, making every potential interaction a source of immense anxiety. He yearned for genuine connection, yet his words remained trapped inside. His learning journey felt fragmented, jumping from grammar books to forgotten apps. Alex struggled to retain new vocabulary, often forgetting words moments after encountering them. He knew countless rules, but could never spontaneously apply them in real-time dialogue. This constant cycle of effort and disappointment was truly exhausting. The idea of English talking practice seemed abstract and daunting. How could he practice when nobody was around to talk to him? He felt isolated, believing that true fluency only came from living abroad or having native speaker friends, neither of which was an option for Alex right now. One evening, scrolling through endless videos, a peculiar thumbnail caught his eye. It was titled, "How to Talk with Anyone, the Secret No One Tells You." Intrigued, Alex clicked, skeptical but desperate for any ray of hope. This simple click marked a pivotal turning point in his language quest. The video featured an elderly, kind-faced woman named Elena, whose wisdom radiated through the screen. She didn't offer quick fixes, but rather emphasized foundational, practical steps. Her calm demeanor instantly made Alex feel more at ease, a rare sensation during his English study sessions. Elena's first piece of advice was startlingly simple: listen and practice. She stressed the importance of active listening, not just hearing, but truly understanding nuances. She encouraged immersing oneself in various English accents and dialects, embracing diversity in communication styles found globally. How to improve your English, she continued, begins with your ears. Elena explained that consistent exposure to authentic spoken English builds an intuitive understanding of rhythm and intonation. This deep listening foundation is crucial for developing natural conversational flow later on. She then delved into why reading is so important. Elena highlighted how reading stories broadens vocabulary contextually, embedding words in memorable narratives. English story reading, she advised, is not just for pleasure, it's a powerful learning tool. Alex began dedicating time to reading short stories every day, a practice he had previously neglected. He noticed new words sticking better when encountered within a compelling plot. This method, unlike rote memorization, made the learning process enjoyable and surprisingly effective. Elena also addressed how to learn words effectively. She recommended connecting new words to existing knowledge or creating mental images. Moreover, she suggested using new vocabulary immediately in simple sentences, even if only talking to himself. This active recall solidified retention. "Let me tell you talking tips," Elena said with a smile. Her primary tip was to just start speaking, regardless of perceived perfection. "Don't wait for fluency," she urged. "Fluency comes from speaking." This was a revolutionary concept for Alex. She advised talking to pets, plants, or even reflections in a mirror. The key was to vocalize English regularly, building muscle memory in the mouth and tongue. This daily, low-stakes English talking practice began to chip away at Alex's deep-seated shyness. Elena explained how people speak English in real life. It's rarely perfectly grammatical and often full of pauses, repetitions, and idiomatic expressions. Understanding this relaxed Alex, freeing him from the unrealistic expectation of speaking like a textbook. She encouraged embracing mistakes as part of the learning process. Errors are not failures, she stated calmly. They are merely opportunities for growth. This profound shift in perspective began to transform Alex's attitude towards making linguistic blunders. The way of learning English, she proposed, was holistic and integrated. It wasn't about isolated grammar drills, but about weaving together listening, speaking, reading, and vocabulary acquisition into a continuous, enjoyable loop of self-improvement. Alex decided to wholeheartedly adopt Elena's methods. He started by dedicating 15 minutes each morning to listening to English podcasts during his commute. He focused intently on the speaker's tone and speed, trying to grasp the overall meaning. His English talking practice began with narrating his daily routine to himself in English. I am making coffee. I am getting dressed. Simple sentences at first, gradually expanding as his confidence grew. It felt silly, but it worked wonders. He discovered the joy of English story reading. He picked up short novels by contemporary authors, focusing on genres he enjoyed. The captivating plots made him forget he was even studying, absorbing new words and phrases effortlessly from the context. When encountering a new word, he wouldn't just look it up. Instead, he tried to infer its meaning from the surrounding text first, then check the dictionary. Afterward, he immediately created a sentence using the word, truly applying how to learn words. Elena's "Let me tell you" talking tips resonated deeply. Alex started joining online language exchange groups, initially just listening. Then, hesitantly, he began to type messages. The pressure was lower, allowing him to gradually gain comfort in expressing himself. The biggest hurdle was how to talk with anyone. Elena had emphasized starting small. Alex began by saying simple phrases to himself, then to supportive online partners. He realized that people were often understanding and encouraging, not critical. His breakthrough came when he had to order coffee. Instead of pointing, he stumbled through a full sentence. The barista understood and smiled. That small victory ignited a spark of genuine confidence, proving Elena's advice was truly effective. Alex noticed that his way of learning English was becoming intuitive. He no longer felt like he was slogging through lessons. Instead, English was integrating into his daily life, a natural part of his routine, enriching his experiences significantly. He actively sought out opportunities for English talking practice. He joined an English-speaking book club online, where discussions were lively and supportive. Making mistakes was common, and everyone helped each other, fostering a safe learning environment. How to improve your English became a continuous, exciting journey rather than a destination. Each conversation, each new book, each listened podcast felt like another step forward. Alex was no longer afraid of the process, but embraced it fully. He consciously practiced how people speak English. He observed native speakers, noting their pauses, filler words, and how they structured sentences. He tried to mimic natural rhythms, making his own speech sound less robotic and more authentic over time. The power of English story reading continued to amaze him. Not only did it build his vocabulary, but it also exposed him to different cultural contexts and expressions. Stories brought the language to life in a way textbooks never could, making learning vibrant. His ability to how to learn words improved dramatically. He used flashcards for active recall, but always paired words with memorable sentences or personal anecdotes. This contextual approach made vocabulary retention incredibly efficient and long-lasting. Elena's "Let me tell you" talking tips had truly revolutionized his approach. She had taught him that communication was more important than perfection. Getting the message across, even imperfectly, was the ultimate goal, fostering real connections. He started volunteering for international events in his city, forcing himself into English talking practice. These interactions were initially terrifying, but quickly became rewarding. He met people from all over the world, sharing stories and learning together. The concept of how to talk with anyone transformed from a dream to a reality. Alex found himself initiating conversations, asking questions, and even offering opinions. His confidence radiated, attracting more opportunities for interaction and growth. He realized that fluency wasn't about knowing every single word, but about being able to express thoughts coherently and confidently. It was about connection, not just correctness. This newfound perspective fueled his passion for learning further. Listen and practice remained a cornerstone of his daily routine. He diversified his listening materials, from news broadcasts to comedy specials, training his ear to understand different speeds and accents. This constant exposure was invaluable. His progress in how to improve your English was undeniable. Friends and colleagues started complimenting his improved speaking skills. This positive reinforcement motivated him even more, proving that consistent effort truly yielded significant results. He frequently revisited Elena's video, finding new layers of wisdom in her simple advice. It was not just about language learning, but also about personal growth and overcoming self-imposed limitations. Her guidance was truly transformative. Alex began to share his own "let me tell you" talking tips with others struggling with English. He emphasized starting small, being patient with oneself, and focusing on communication over grammatical perfection. He became an impromptu mentor. He stressed the importance of finding one's own way of learning English that felt enjoyable and sustainable. For him, it was reading stories and engaging in casual conversations. For others, it might be music or movies. The key was consistency. Why reading is so important became a mantra for Alex. He saw how deeply his vocabulary and understanding of natural sentence structures had improved simply by losing himself in good stories. It was effortless learning. His journey highlighted that how people speak English is diverse and forgiving. There isn't one perfect way. People appreciate effort and clarity, not flawless accents or complex grammar. This realization removed immense pressure from his shoulders. How to learn words became a creative exercise. He'd draw little pictures next to new words or invent silly mnemonics. The process was personalized and fun, making vocabulary acquisition feel like a game rather than a chore. The English talking practice he embraced was no longer limited to online chats. He now sought out opportunities in his local community, attending international meetups and cultural events. Each interaction fueled his growing confidence. He understood that how to talk with anyone boiled down to genuine curiosity and active listening. Asking open-ended questions and truly hearing the answers created natural conversation flow. It wasn't about performing, but connecting. His former shyness began to dissipate, replaced by a quiet confidence. He realized that making mistakes was an inherent part of learning anything new. It was a sign of trying, of pushing boundaries, of daring to grow. Listen and practice continued to refine his ear and tongue. He could now easily distinguish between different English accents and understand fast-paced conversations. His comprehension skills had reached an impressive level. How to improve your English became an organic process, not a rigid study plan. It was interwoven with his interests, watching documentaries, listening to podcasts about his hobbies, and discussing current events with new friends. He reflected on why reading is so important in his transformation. The vast exposure to different writing styles and expressions deepened his linguistic intuition. Reading opened up new worlds and solidified his command of English. He noticed how people speak English in diverse contexts: formal presentations, casual chats, emotional discussions. He learned to adapt his register and vocabulary accordingly, becoming a more versatile and effective communicator. The way of learning English that Elena taught him was essentially about self-compassion and consistent engagement. It wasn't about achieving perfection overnight, but about enjoying the journey and celebrating small victories along the way. Alex's story became an inspiration. He proved that anyone, regardless of their starting point, could achieve significant English fluency with the right mindset and practical strategies. His transformation was a testament to perseverance. He now confidently navigated conversations, participating actively in professional meetings and social gatherings. The English language, once a barrier, had become a powerful bridge connecting him to new opportunities and diverse cultures. His journey began with a single click, a leap of faith into a YouTube video that provided invaluable, let me tell you, talking tips. Those simple pieces of advice had blossomed into a complete personal revolution, transforming his life. How to learn words ceased to be a struggle. It was an ongoing adventure of discovery. Every new word felt like finding a small treasure, adding to the rich tapestry of his linguistic abilities. He loved the process. He encouraged everyone to embrace English talking practice fearlessly, even if it meant starting with talking to oneself. Every uttered word, no matter how small, built confidence and paved the way for larger conversations. The magic was in consistency and kindness to oneself. How to talk with anyone really meant how to talk with yourself first, nurturing that inner voice before bravely sharing it with the world. This was Alex's greatest lesson. Alex, once shy, now stands as a beacon of what's possible. His story reminds us that with dedication to listen and practice, commitment to English story reading, and the courage to speak, anyone can truly master English.